Yo, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to episode number 12 of the COVID 19 series that we're having. Now, I've gone through all of the body parts, or body systems. I've gone through all 11 of them. Now, my job here, I'm actually going to be telling you guys, or showing you guys two different vaccines, what they are, and I'm going to give you my personal opinion on if I would take them or not. Now, remember, this is biased, so I do not want to offend anybody out there, hurt someone's feelings, or whoever watches this. I have no disrespect to you over these viruses at all. So, but after doing some research, there was something called a whole virus vaccine and a viral vector vaccine. I'm going to read to you the definition of the whole virus vaccine, or the purpose of it, and then I'm actually going to read word for word. I'm going to read the advantages and the disadvantages of the vaccine. The reason why I'm reading it word for word is because I want you all to hear clearly what these are. Okay, now the whole virus vaccine, I'm going to explain to you what the whole virus vaccine does. This virus uses a weakened form of a pathogen that can cause a disease to trigger protective immunity to it. So they use a weakened form of a pathogen in our body, and what that does is it causes a lot of immunity to respond to it. So it's like this pathogen will go in, get near the COVID or the infection, and then a whole bunch of immunity just rushes it. It just jumps, bam, and they try to get rid of the infection that way. Now, there is something called a live annotated vaccine, and uses a weakened form of the virus itself, which can still grow and replicate. I'll get to that in a minute. To take on the virus itself and fight it off. Now, I'm about to read word for word what this says. The advantages, this is my words, of course. I paraphrase everything, but I'm going to read you what I wrote. The advantages of this vaccine, the advantages here, are having a strong immune response to the infection, well-established technology for the vaccine itself, and is relatively simple to manufacture. The disadvantages of this vaccine are it being unsuitable for people with compromised immune systems. It can possibly trigger the disease in very rare cases, and it being super temperature sensitive. So, with that being said, basically what they're saying is it has a really good, strong immune response to the body. It's good technology for the vaccine itself, and it's pretty easy to manufacture. The disadvantages of that are it's very temperature sensitive, so the body's temperature, if you're too hot or too cold, it's very sensitive to that and how it works. It can cause the disease to flare up again, and you can get that all over. It says very rare cases, so you have a chance of possibly awakening COVID again and getting that all in your body. And then it's actually unsuitable for people with compromised immune systems, meaning somebody with a pre-existing condition or immune system that is not that strong. This vaccine is unsuitable for them. So it's like only certain people can take this. I'm going to leave my opinion off to the side. We're going to go into the viral vector. What the viral vector vaccine is, it's very different, and it's very unusual in comparison to your traditional vaccine. Instead of using different pathogens and things of that nature, it actually uses the body's own cells to produce these pathogens. So what happens is that when the cells get infected, making them large amounts of antigen, which then triggers an immune response. So when these cells get infected, a lot of antigen, something called antigen, gets produced, and then that's where the immune response comes in. So instead of there being a pathogen, they take it a different route. Now, once again, I'm going to read. Okay, the advantages of this system are having a well-established technology, a strong immune response, and good immune responses to the B and T cells. The disadvantages of this vaccine are the fact of it having previous exposure that could reduce the effect of the vaccine itself, and is relatively complex to manufacture. So, once again, the advantages, just like the other ones, it's pretty good immune responses. It's good technology. It's pretty strong. The disadvantages, of course, is it's not as easy to manufacture it, of course, and that this vaccine has actually been exposed to the virus itself, and it could actually reduce the power or the effect of what it can do. Now, here's where my opinion comes in. Would I take these, and why would I or would I not take these? My answer is, of course not. You could not pay me enough money to take either one of these vaccines, and I'm going to tell you why. Me, thank God, with God's glory and grace and mercy, I have not had the coronavirus. Now, I will say I do have bronchial asthma. My immune system, it's strong enough, but it's not as strong as it should be. It's not what you'd want it to be. Okay, with that being said, me personally, like I said, this is all biased. I did give a quick disclaimer. But me personally, you have to understand that me as a person not being exposed to this virus at all, and then all of a sudden having it put into my system, it does not matter if it's rare cases. My body has not experienced COVID. It's not going to know how to react. So yes, I have a vaccine in here, But because this vaccine's been exposed to it, it's going to reduce the effect, number one. So I'm not going to have that strong of an effect to it, number one. Number two, my body's not going to be able to handle the COVID that is now in my system. All my systems are brand new. I've not built up any immunity to it. So now I have just freely accepted the fact that I just let this virus enter my body and roam free, and then hopefully over time build strong immunity to it. I'm sorry, I'm not a genius, I'm not a doctor, but that does not exactly sound like something I would do, because I know for a fact my immune system cannot handle that. I need to build up immunity, and I haven't. I simply haven't. And then with a possible flare-up of the virus coming back, that being a symptom, or that being a disadvantage for both of them, that lets me know, okay, best case scenario, the vaccines do work. Here's the problem. The vaccine, the COVID is now it could still be in my body for up to 6 to 8 weeks afterwards, meaning that it could possibly spark up again. And yes, I have immunity to it now, but I still have to go through that entire process again. All because I let some doctor with a vaccine that'll cure me stick a needle in my arm. And here I am supposed to be COVID-free. I don't mean to be rude to anybody who's making a vaccine. Thank you all so much for the support, but you have to understand, there's too many risks to take. I can't take that risk. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be rude or disrespectful, but it's not a risk I can take. I want to say thank you to everybody who are trying their best. I do appreciate it, but when it comes to the vaccines, you will not see me in a line. With that being said, we have one more episode in this series, and I cannot wait to make it. So I'll see you all then. Thank you so much. Have a good one. Peace.